Welcome to the Creatives Unplugged podcast. I'm your host, Mhligo. Sila eMovias Media at the sales waterfront. Awusihleli nama creatives sonke isikhathi. Ay, namhlanje ke kufika kakhulu. Siniphathele uAnnalyzer. Welcome. And it's really introduction. Uyaphila?
Ngiyaphila kakhulu inkosi mfowethu.
Ngiyajabula. Yazi ngavele yabo nje lokwa.
Yeah.
Wafaka energy.
I'm very happy.
Khona le energy le kade ngingena ngayo.
Yeah.
Masingabazisa abantu ukuthi bakwenzakalani ngalezi ikhathi.
Oh, these are beautiful days.
Before siqale sikhulume, let's enjoy the sound of
exactly.
Annalyzer. Yeah, man.
Indlela yam, inyawo zam, pull my wings out, out, yeah. Dizibonele, diyekeleni naye ndihambe. Dizibonele. Ah, okay. You got it.
This is amazing. Asingabahalisela kakhulu no.
Basibayeke.
Hey bole energy le.
Yeah.
Engaka siyabonga kakhulu. Uxelela abantu ubatshele nje ukuthi uAnnalyzer ubani sibonga kabani usuka kephi nendawo.
So lo uthetha apha ngoAnnalyza wakwaStirman.
Annalyza.
Usuka eSterkspruit endaweni ekuthiwa kuseKroomspruit.
Okay.
Eastern Cape. And ngumsuthu by uKHOIKHOI inyoko emnyama ecanda iziziba.
Oh, okay.
So ke yeah, ndingumthembu. Ninsi imvelaphi yami is really far.
Yeah.
But yeah, ndingumthembu ndikhuliswe ngamahlubi.
Yes.
And yeah, North Eastern Cape.
Yeah, ngeke ngabona kwenye ipost yakho usekhaya lapha ngathi ekhaya umuzi and futhi omakhelwane abaqaqene. Angazi unomama lapha ekhaya.
Yes. So
indawo nje ethuli esamakhaya deep emakhaya kusezilalini. And njengoba kuqaqenwa lo sinomhlaba, that's why sasithi molo mhlobo wami. Oh yes.
Yeah, so that's why kuthiwa amaXhosa ayakhwaza because siqaqene
so basha we adverts with them.
Ekeke kwathiwa nansi phone yabo. So yaqaqene kupholile untaba zokhahlamba. I mean singamahlubi, we are in between the border of the Eastern Cape and the Free State.
Nice.
So Sterkspruit was that small border town apho abantu babefika khona bafike bathenga ipetrol xa besiya eFree State. Xa besuka eFree State besiza eastern Cape. So Sterkspruit is just there in the middle.
Yeah.
Khona abesuthu amahlubi kube khona namaXhosa. And then sithetha ihlubi ke yeah, it's a mixture also of isiZulu, Xhosa, Afrikaans neSotho. So sine language yethu pha enye amanzana eswekile amanzana oshukela unovater. Unovater ivasi lapha ivascom yonke into ilapha because kukhona namakhoisen at the same yes, so that's why we are this
awazi we fundele language yabo.
Yo into endiyaziyo it's in the coat of arms Iqara, which means unity within diversity.
Wow.
That's the one I know, and I know just a bit of counting. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6,
yeah, so just a bit of it, and I learned that in the Free State when I went there to tour a long time ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
And ufunde khona like primary school, high school.
So abazali bam ngabona base Sterkspruit ne endaweni ekuthiwa kusePhelandaba. Both of them, they met there. And then they went to Engcobo. Engcobo also is in the Eastern Cape. Yes. That's where I was born. Engcobo, All Saints.
All right.
Kuthiwa kusemaseleni because kuyaqhekezwa ke Engcobo. So ndafunda pha ke my primary preschool and primary years, and utata wayesebenza endaweni ekuthiwa kuse-Enspa. Before Spa there was Enspa. Then kwaba khona uSpags. Then kwathi Spa. Introduction Gaspar was Enspa. So my dad was a supervisor there, and my mom yena ke ngunesi All Saints apho ndazalelwa khona. So I grew up eNgcobo, ndazalelwa khona nakukhulela khona. Then at some point I moved back to Stegspruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wafunda khona primary eNgcobo noma
Ndafunda
khona
khona.
at that time.
So ndafunda eNgcobo from I went to a multiracial school called not Stegspruit Christian School. It was called Stepping Stone. It was a Christian school. When we got there, when I studied there, I studied from a crash, Bunny Rabbit, Pussycat, Elephant, and then ABC. Oh, AB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no banging. That means I half, and then I had to go back to Stegspruit.
Yeah.
Because my mom needed to venture to go study, to upgrade herself as a staffness to sister.
Yes.
Then I had to go back to Stegspruit and Yohlala no makhulu.
Oh yes.
So from a town to a small town and staying in a village, no gogo and my cousins. High school ke is a Stegspruit kulapho ke ndaqala ukukhula khona yabona, and it was interesting.
Were you looking forward to go in the rural area ngoba ubusuwazi ukuthi kukanjani or kukhona lento ukuthi bangisusa eThekwini noma ungaka understand you were young that time?
Yeah, you know, I have a vivid memory of Ngcobo because Ngcobo is the foundation of my music also.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. My parents were also like in a choral choir. That one was a baritone and my mom was a first soprano.
Okay.
So then practicing from the age of 3. So I had that foundation. I was in a choir, Luyolo adult choir, and that's where they saw my potential in music. Deeper.
Yeah.
Because the Kasiatula, anyway, we're a Christian family. Gospel is always a thing. We're a family choir.
Yeah.
So when I had to leave Ngcobo, the small town, and going back in Makaya, it was difficult because there were beautiful memories that I had there.
Yeah.
And I had great childhood friends. But also, emakaya kwakumnandi, I understand what like diapango December, ne?
Yes.
So I was familiar with the lifestyle, you know, I was that child that So the one thing that was painful is leaving memories and leaving a school that I liked and having to go to a public school from a multiracial school, and that's why I also was in multiracial, because there were just 2 Indian people, guys. Like, so multiracial, and I'm like, racial, it's not giving racial, but no teacher. No, nothing. I'm like, no, it was just a mixture of like from different homes.
Nice.
2 Indians, and then teacher most of them were Bantu Basekana, teachers from Ghana.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the racial thing about it. And then having to go to Estek, and then having to go to a public school because it's Xhosa language found. English was at that school, the primary, was my first language.
Yeah.
And that was the only language I was learning. There was no Afrikaans, there was no Xhosa. So I had to go there. I have to go to with my 15 cousins. Oh my. No cornflakes. I'm like, ship. I can't do this.
Hey,
yeah.
So vele uthando lomculo luqala ke khona lapho kuleso sikhathi vele usafunda, and then maybe you went to tertiary after high school.
So into enzekayo ekhaya ngoba sicula abantu abakholwa ekhaya. Born again from my father's side, and kulo mama ngamawisile.
Okay.
And so lokuculwa ke oko nje umnandi kubhlungu siyacula. So I go to high school, Stegspruit Christian School. Before Stegspruit Christian School.
Yes.
Ndikwanqoba JSS. I have to go study there ke grade 7 or grade 6, grade 7 up.
Yeah.
And now ufuna ngifunde isiXhosa ndiyafika ndikulo mntana othethe English ndibizwa ngo stepping stone yabaza abantu basemakhaya bayaXhosa. English emakhaya is not a flex, uyahlekwa uthe uthetha ntoni yabo. So enqoba JSS, they see this potential in me ndiyacula ezilayinini. It was my first time also having that experience. Kuthiwa kuqalwa ingoma ezilayinini thina sasisima phasi cula me bunny rabbit. Now I'm like, oh, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Then I get spotted in an Eisteddford. There used to be an Eisteddford estate where different schools come and compete musically. And I get there. I have a choral background.
Yes.
I've got a gospel background. I know how to breathe when I'm singing. I know how to hit a note. And this white guy who has a private school, SDK, he's like, I like this. I think this child must be taken out from this public school and get private school. They speak to my parents, and I got to Stecksburg Christian School. School fees was paid for, everything was paid for. I got mistress or opera. They hired her for me to train me, and then then from the high school I was doing opera, classical music, and a bit of gospel. Then after grade 12, I had a break. I worked at the school.
Oh yeah.
And I was doing some concerts there. I was a co-director with one of the teachers.
Nice.
Then I was like, Mom, I want to elevate myself. Oh yeah, Annalyza. Oh yeah, I was like, no, I need to go to Durban. You have a flat in Durban. I want to do my tertiary studies in Durban. Then I landed in Durban, KZN. They're from the Creative Arts College.
Oh, Creative Arts. When was that?
2010.
Oh, 2010.
German in the World Cup and I apply.
The Creative
and it was
College,
scary, you know, and I wanted to go to DUT. But, you know, in Makaya, guys, it's so unfortunate. Kids don't know how to apply to these universities.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know don't forms. They're not informed on how to get into these institutions.
Yeah.
So I get them and I didn't certificates. Auditions, CEO form. I was puzzled.
Yeah.
And I was sad. And then a friend of mine, we were chilling, and she was like, no, there's a college, Creative Arts College, in Street. Okay, went there, siyabathatha isifundo mazingene ngenani nansi imali 1,000. Abe ngithi okay, qala ngomso.
I'm in.
Then I was in. I did performing arts there.
Nice.
And I obtained a diploma in performing arts.
Wow,
yeah.
Amazing. And then waqala ke wangena ke eThekwini mhlawumbe khona abantu osebenzisane nabo. Ibe kanjani i-creativity yakho lapha usebenzisana nama-artists?
Yeah, so esikolweni it was lovely because I got to get exposed to the Zulu culture, which I really fell in love with it.
Nice.
And there was umculo, like, you know, sasenza idrama ne. And I started learning those songs, the harmonies.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, oh, this is how people, oh, okay. So I got really brief of culture. There's a culture exchange and culture shock. But at the same time, it was really inspiring.
Yeah.
Then get break khona bona ngithanda ukuhamba khona and mina ndiphuma ndiyozenzela into zami ezumntana esikolo. Then I saw these guys beatboxing in the alley and they're jamming, and I go in there and I'm like, okay, let me do some opera vocals here, because it was like pass the mic, you know, and the mic ain't good, so we passed the mic and I was there and they're like, what? This is sick. And then Munchal Saneli pulls me and it's like, I always been seeing you. Come through. Come inside.
Yes.
Come inside, man. There's a mic. And I got in there. There was hip-hop artists. There was Consequence, Shamanga, you know, holding it down. There was Mhligo. I was like, whoa, big bros. You guys are looking so cool. Then went to the mic. Oroki, they're playing there. No so sharp, scratching and stuff. It was beautiful. Then that's how I got to know other creatives. And I jumped in that mic and I did my thing. I really got exposed to a different culture of music, and I was like, let me blend it with what I know. Nice. And it worked perfectly, and that was hip-hop, my first love in Durban.
Plus, sizokhuluma more about it.
Yeah.
Ngifuna ukuthola nale part ye-theatre ukuthi iqhamuke kanjani kuvela umuntu we-theatre from home or ingalesikhathi usula esikoleni.
So eNgcobo, my aunt got married to this lovely guy. He had a music center. They go and hire a cassette where you have to watch a movie. You get there, but information and also a teacher karate. So we used to watch lots of movies, and I used to like expressions when I see it on TV.
Yeah.
Then there was a cassette, Pure Magic. There was Umamu Rebecca Malope, Dr. Rebecca Malope, and the late Tato Voyo. And they were performing. Yes. And they were performing, wearing these beautiful costumes. And Rebecca was short. And I love that dramatic effect. Then on my graduation, this year I got grade 1. No, was it grade 1? But yeah, kukhona lapho sifunda khona, graduate, and then as a kid, and then I performed Igazi Lemvana, and I imitated Rebecca Malope. I cried, and people expressed it. And then my mom was like, "You are also dramatic." Exactly. Then as going also Eastern Cape, we have drama, entertaining things like when the programs about trying and sketch. Then that, and I was very dramatic, and people used to love it and laugh at me. I was like the joke of the drama most of the time. Then that's how drama, was like a certain love for me.
Yeah.
Then creative arts, when they said performing arts, I said, what is performing arts? Performing arts is knowing stage direction. It's performing, how to perform for the audience when you're singing and dancing, musicals and everything. So everything was combined. So that's how the theatrical side of me came to life, from childhood to now tertiary. And then now I was like, okay, let me put everything together. So when I perform and I do something, I'm also dramatic in how I deliver the music, so that you don't forget me. That's one thing we're also taught. You must never be forgotten when you're on stage. People must say, it's always good, that image for an artist.
Creative.
Exactly, creative. Exactly. Yeah.
And then khona la ngake ngathola ngisho invite angazi you guys benihlangene nabo abo Masha bese organize ama events actually.
Yes.
Back then. Tell us more about that period. Ukuthi benisebenza kanjani?
So now I'm at this nice great pub. I'm gonna name drop Jameson's. Everybody is there. Of course, Jem, my boy. So we are there. I meet Umasha. Umasha uhamba namajida khona umjida uthiwa ngu-purist. He was like a Kanye West. He was very full of himself, rest in peace. So, and they were doing their own thing, and there was a point where Masha invites me to poetry sessions. The soil was starting up, and we used to attend these events, but I did not go inside. We used to stay outside. Masha goes perform, we wait for her outside. She comes back. How much you got, Ninja? I got 100 rand, let's go drink. So that, Masha, shout out to Masha.
Shout out to Masha.
So, as we're doing that, Masha was very business orientated. Like that was hungry to do stuff, to be in business. Meets a person, before that, no, it was before Retro Bazar. We started working with Tech Records, a record label from Uganda. Then I got signed into it, and then Masha was the CEO, and the guy was like, guys, here's the equipment, here's everything, do your thing.
Nice.
We did our thing. That's when Annalyzer was birthed. Because at that time, Jameson's, I was just known as Annalyza. Yeah, then Annalyzer was born through Tech Records. Then we started doing events and then promoting Annalyzer, branding Annalyzer, what type of sound is Annalyzer, indigenous Afro and hip hop beats. So when you got invited, that's when we had met this guy, Jemo, who saw Masha doing something in a studio and was like, hey man, I've got this. Do you have people? And she was like, yeah, I'm bringing my people. And I was one of those people. And she was like, I'm going to start with you, Chomi. Then we will follow because there's something special about you. So that's how the event started. Yes, Tech Records.
And there was like great music. Even producer laphayana. Ngiyabona ne video on YouTube. Usushaya i-performance yakho. Like kunale ngoma le kade sidlala esi remix now. But originally ngathi bikhona benine tape or it was an album that time.
So Umasha, this is how the music Ndiambe, the song Ndiambe was born. The single Ndiambe. Again, I'm at Jameson's and Masha comes through and she's like, we have to go. I'm like, what do you mean we have to go? I said, trust me, let's go. Get inside, there's this big car. And I'm seeing this Ugandan guy's like, oh, this is it. Okay, let's go. I'm like, how are we? She's like, don't worry, let's go. We go, get into studio. And I'm seeing studio. It was not my first time seeing a studio though. And not the first time that I'd recorded. And there's this guy, T-Skills Mchali. And he was the one producing and he had this this beat. and it was so beautiful. It starts like it's like an orchestra. And I was like, I had that in my head. I was like, okay. And Masha was like, yeah, this is Annalyza, guys. Go to the booth. And I was like, what do you mean just go into the booth, jump on that beat? I went in and I did the song Ndihambe.
Yo.
And Ndiyagalani mnaye ndihambe ndizibonele.
Oh yeah, bafuna ukuyapha. Oh, we want to have. Yo, Leo creation, like so amazing.
At that time, I didn't know where I wanted to go, but there was this thing that I just wanted to let go. I just wanted to be, you know.
Yes.
It was not like I was restricted ekhaya or by community to not be myself.
Yeah.
But there was this thing ethi mandihambe ndizibonele ndizozichwechwela indlela yami ndonyusa inyawo zami nigga pull my wings out. So yeah, and the ninja was of course the man above or the man down there. And T-Skills was like, yes, she's the one. And I'm like, what do you mean she's the one? It's like every rapper has been trying to do something on this beat. And you come in as a vocalist and you do that. And then I was like, Masha Jump, I nailed it. So that's how the birth of the song Ndihambe came through. And it was so beautiful that after doing it, Gemma was like, okay, here are the forms who wants to sign a contract. Masha was now the CEO. You know, Masha now was like, yeah, this is the artist I want. I'm going to run the ship with her. This is how we're going to. And then Ndihambe was birthed like that. And they branded me.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And the push of you guys, like professional, you know, going into it. Like, in DAO, speaking with different owners. Casino,
Vakamata.
Like holding it down, Epsu, with uniform. Like, well, it's in our experience. Amazing. Which, this is so amazing. And then we since I didn't sit down every day.
Yeah.
So a platform amazing.
Thank you so much.
So keep a album after in Ndihambe.
Yes.
So be part of the project. That's it.
It was Ndihambe was going to be the album because the title Ndihambe, it was taken out on 2014. The title of the album was Ndihambe and the single was Ndihambe. Then under that, then the music, of course, So that album was Ndihambe. So the producer was so impressed that they were like, let's just do an album. I will produce. Some music was produced, co-produced by Masha. Some was co-produced by Uzile Zondo, and others from guys from Uganda. I had a feature there also with some Ugandan artists, and so that was the birth. Ndihambe birthed that album. And the album, of course, is Ndihambe. So.
And then kwakhula-ke i-production kwaba nama-features traveling somewhere, performances that time.
At that time, what we wanted to do, we wanted to win Durban. Of course, we wanted to win Durban.
You guys did that.
Yes, we wanted to win Durban, and the first person, Punsika. Punsika loved Ndihambe so much. I remember there was something happening about music of the year or something. I won that. Yes, I won that song of the year while he had his sessions, and he really loved it. That's where the Nut Scratchers or was my meds or Raw, no Sosha, like heard the music and they were like, let's do a remix because you guys are working hard also. So that's how the song pushed. We pushed it so much. We just online, just oversharing this and this and this. We didn't even know. But Masha, of course, Masha always had that thing of like, so every time I'm gonna try it like this, I'm gonna try it like that, you know. And she's always been that internet kid who's always curious. And what I want, nolali ndim, what azwakala nolali zokufundisa into 1, 2, 3. So that's how the song, like, we wanted that song to win Durban. So I performed most of it in Durban hip hop shows, sessions, and then that's how we met.
Retro Bazar.
That's how also we met Tobeka Ninja X. So then Ninja was like, hey guys, I'm doing this raw deal. But now I've got another one. It's like a he's and him, he's and her. So Usain runs the ship of the raw deal battles. And then on Sundays I'm doing the hers, which is the Retro Bazar. And we were like, we want to be part of that team. Then jumped on that wagon and we worked with Tobega. I was the main artist on the program director wayo. Retro. So that's how everything came together. Like, yeah.
Hey, that was fun. I remember the beginning of it, like that relationship. You even shot some things.
Promo of some sort. Yes,
Yo.
We worked really hard. I was the networker. Genius. I don't know. I don't remember actually what they were, but I was a networker and the artist for it. Because I was the one going out to go and find the artist and be like, yeah, man, especially female artists, and be like, yo, come through, or upcoming artists, come through. There's a retro bazaar, you know, there's beautiful vibe, experience the stage, here's a mic, giving opportunities to others too. So, yeah.
Nice journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, but mine, ngena kweneke enzima kakhulu. Yo, yazi sengambona lapha kwezinye indawo uthi costume kwenye i-crazy ebusweni ushaya i-art ongakazi uyibone kunalo upartner nisebenza naye angikho sure ukuthi wala eMzansi noma waphesheya but ubusuqala ungena kwi-band yenzeke kanjani leya relationship with the band and that guy?
So the journey now, I'm finished in Durban.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I want my Durban crowd. Now it's time for growth.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my brother passes away during that time when I'm trying to figure that out.
Sorry to hear that, yeah.
It's okay, impossible. And xa ndishiya ubhuti, ndifumane i-call wayesebenza emine.
Yes.
Ndifumane i-call, intoni kwenzeka ntoni? Kuthiwa hayi izolanda imali kunemali ephumileyo. Yo, ulonwabo ndandinalo. Ulonwabo ndandinalo isantya esingakanani. Ndathi ayibo lo mjide bendithanda kangaka. Wanibhalisa, you know, wathi wanifaka bra, you know. Ndikhumbula le mali singenamali, actually le mali yayingena singenamali nomasha walking on West Street, we had 50 rand, so like, hey man, let's go grab one beer. Because also, man, this art thing, this art thing is depressing. You gotta find a way. You must, and also, we're trying to cope. Yeah. We're trying to cope, guys. It's not like we must tend to go into artists. We're just trying to cope, man. There's some type of way that we want to cope. So tonight, I see, and the extra 50 rand. Yeah. Hayibo amanani amangaka ndithi masha
zero baningi
athi seyingenini ndithi mina because Masha is such an awesome person wathi jonga ke chomi sizoqhubeka nale 50 rand besoyitya le mali ifune uvuke ekuseni xela umama bingenile sigqibele 50 rand sami. Let's not get excited. I appreciate that about her so much.
Bro.
Some other friend will be like, yeah, let's go bowling, you know. Akulalwa. No, I nyani ring olate lithi hayi thathu isekulanda wethile ndiyeza ngomso drives comes through. I invested and I'm still in this journey of like I need to move from Durban.
Oh yes.
Then I dithathele mali I moved to Johannesburg. So now in Johannesburg yonke into endiyenzayo ndiyenza ngale mali kabhuti.
Yeah.
And I was based in Maboneng.
Oh, Maboneng.
So in Maboneng, the art place, that's where I'm meeting different artists. There's a place called Industry. It was a queer space. And this guy had seen me. Oh, also I was working with I had a plan.
Yeah.
There's one thing also people don't want to do, to not have a plan. You can't go to Joburg.
Yeah.
I had a plan. And I had already made relationships. There was, I forgot their company, but I was invited to perform there. When I get there, I see the brother moves on. There's people are performing in a garage. They did self-lighting. There's a piece of like, there's a full band and everybody can come in and jam. Dibana abantwana aba ondlebe zikhanya ilanga bethuna yo bandithanda. That's okay ndlebe ndizohlala apha ecangweni ngoba nina nine access mos.
Yeah.
Hayi bathi ayisiyakuthanda sister. Then I started doing art with them. They started showing me, Annalyzer, you can't be the artist with dreadlocks.
Oh yeah.
And jacket jean. That you can't sell yourself like that. Everybody in Joburg has got dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Everybody is singing. Everybody has got that. So you need to find uniqueness when you present yourself in the art. And ababantwana aba babefunde vets besenza theater.
Yes.
Then I meet Kiron Gina. Kiron Gina is from Durban.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, in mixed Indian colored.
Oh, yeah.
Then he introduces me to Yogan Sullivan, the guy I'm in a band with, uKHOIKHOI.
Oh, yes.
So Kiron introduces me into now the real theater performances. This is where costume, this is where everything, I'm introduced now to theatrical, kukhona lento esibizayo, where you abstract theater.
Oh, yes.
Where you just try everything, improv, yonke lonto le. I was like, oh, this is great. Then that's where the costumes and the makeup started coming through. Then we met Yogan. Then we started forming a band, uKHOIKHOI.
uKHOIKHOI.
Which I was the person styling us. Like, let's be different. Let's do this like this. And then the costumes.
You did the styling?
Yeah. Yes, I did the styling.
What?
I did the styling. I did the titling of uKHOIKHOI.
Yes.
And I was like, we can't just be a band wearing a t-shirt. Let's wear something unique.
Yes.
And I was mostly in queer spaces in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
They have lots of events. So I won the queer community in Johannesburg. And Yogan had his jazz community. And the queer community had lots of shows. And they wanted something different. I was like, hey, come through.
Yeah.
Join me in this journey. These are my people. Let's just be free. As long as you are friendly and an ally and you're respectful to other people, you can work with them. And I was like, yeah, it's fine, man. We wear our costumes, we do that. It was unique, and we did a beautiful song, Castles. So we were first dressed by a friend, Trayvon. Trayvon, he gave us his clothes that he wears that are really like costume-like. And after that, we used it for Afropunk. He invited us to Afropunk. And after wearing those costumes, I was like, Annalyza, I love you so much, and I know that you have an image of something. Take this costume. The first costume that we got as uKHOIKHOI was a gift from Trayvon.
Yeah.
Then after that, I was like, okay, since we look so cool and Trayvon styled us, now let's start going to designers.
Oh, yes.
Then we started pitching our vision.
Yeah.
Every time, what story do you want to tell about our costume? How do you want to look? Then that's what like sold uKHOIKHOI's uniqueness.
Yes.
Yes, the music
Big
was
time.
there, but now big time, when you see us, you don't forget us.
Yeah.
So that's
So
how it happened.
with the arts, even on the face,
Yonke
the
la.
kamsana, everything. Ah, that's amazing.
Yonke into, I was like, yeah, let's do this. First, we started with beads.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we're wearing black, let's wear some colorful beads around us. So those beads will be, oh, we're wearing beads. Then let's just buy paint. Fagi strokezi 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then we play. And I was like, it's interesting, but now let's look unique.
Yes.
Let's look like we're coming out from another planet. So that's how everything just came about. And also that was my dream, to be a unique artist.
Yes.
Hence now the hairstyle also, it was a choice. So that's how it started.
Yeah, and then le yokutravela phesheya ke isingena kanjani iyona le uniqueness abantu abayibonayo or kunama connection enavena sha ama calls I feel bekuyimali kaBhuti
Yo, eyithathaphi imali? Yo, angisayibaweni.
Abasiphace senior performer lapha so that whole journey traveling through music.
Oh, actually, yeah. Traveling ke ngoku, again, the queer community, the LGBTI.
Yeah.
I used to also, I hosted the first Durban Pride here in Durban.
Oh, okay.
The first Durban Pride at City Hall. And I was a lesbian and gay center, an organization of queer wellness and healthcare, LAPKZN. I used to go to their offices sometimes just to go there, have workshops.
Yeah.
And as I was doing the Pride emceeing, Zanele Moholi, a visual activist from here at KZN, who has faces and faces, work faces and faces,
Yeah.
Somnyama Ngonyama, actually stays in this building, which is quite cool.
Nah.
Yeah,
Okay.
owns a building. Yeah. They saw me up at Durban, and then I was in Jozi, up in Anbon. At time, man, I remember you in the gay pride in KZN at Durban. I like you. I want you to host one of my exhibitions.
Oh, nice.
First time now being in an art gallery, and I'm holding it down. I'm telling people what's going on, who's next, and then I perform also at the same time.
Yeah.
And then Zanele was like, I like this. So do you have a passport?
What?
Amehlo avuleka athi what are your artists going a passport? That what do you mean? What every artist must have a passport.
Yeah.
When it's time to go, it's time to go. You can't be saying, no.
Hey,
if you're now taking the journey of professionalism in the artist in art, have a passport. And actually, everyone should have a passport, you know, especially us in our black communities, because we are always deprived of traveling. But having langwadi, it gives you that hope of can you mean even exactly. So my first opportunity of going outside the country, traveling Europe, I was given by Zanele Moholi.
Nice.
Got my passport, got my visa, going to the Netherlands, Amsterdam. And they were doing an exhibition there, Faces and Somnyama Ngonyama.
Oh, yeah.
In the first white museum where no black artist has ever exhibited. And Zanele was the first one. And the museum was Stedelijk Museum, the biggest in the Netherlands. And Zanele was like, here's the space, here are the pictures, tell your story, and the floor is yours. That was my first time going overseas.
Yeah.
And that was through Zanele Moholi. After that, performing, kill it, Zanele's like, yeah, keep it up. Now it's all up to you, you have a passport. Kiron Gina, the one who introduced me to theatrical work.
Oh, yes.
Then introduces me to Antje Schump. Antje Schump is a German director and performer.
Yes.
Wayefike apha eMzansi eJozi looking for artists to collaborate with. Culture exchange.
Yes.
And sees me performing. It's like, I want to work with you in a project that I'm doing research about pink money. Then yaqala ukungcola nyange ngupassport saqala apha eKasi satravela senza into zethu sibhatalwa futhi kakuhle yonke into taken care of by Visha. It's a Swiss company for arts. Yeah, if you can find izinto phana, guys, go search Visha. I'll leave it. I'll give Mhligo how you spell it. They give out residencies on where artists you can do exchanges with other artists from different countries.
Nice.
So yeah, Visha takes us out of now. We're now traveling Germany. Dim no Kiron, no Antje Schump, no Mbali Mdluli. We are doing pink money. We call it pink dollar. Sanikwe funding by, I think it was by the Swiss, Swiss company. Sanikwe Mali. Then we started traveling Switzerland. I was in and out of Switzerland and Germany. Yaqala njalo ke traveling yam. I kind of was traveling alone in a way because, you know, people mind their business, but we were a team.
Yeah.
Then, Joken, then we met a director. I mean, they didn't meet a director. This director found my music through a friend of mine, Robin Olin, one of the biggest directors from South Africa. And Annalyzer, you know Jogan. I used to yoke with Jogan. You guys are working together, sweetheart. I'm like, yes, Mama Rabs, we are. All right, I would love to travel with you. And then now they're traveling more. Now no Jogan. We are traveling with Robin Olin. That's right.
Yeah. So, nifika lapha and kill performance or kukhona ne theater at the same time. Nifika nisebenza kanjani?
So, Robin comes with a concept.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as a director, and Asqashe as a band.
Oh, yeah.
And we give them their fee, our fee, and everything is booked for and by them. And this is another concept. At now I need music. We work with dancers. And she's a choreographer.
Oh, yeah.
And work with dancers. So what do you guys think? We have an input also within the work. This is inspiring us. This is what, then give me sound, Yabon. Then we create music with what maybe the dancer is portraying. And then Robin like, I like that, keep that. Now music, keep that. So she directs Kanjalo. And we create music for that show, you know, that way. We're part of the performance also. Because in Robin's show, you are not only a musician, you can also be a dancer in that show. You can also be a performer, which I am. You can be anything. It's the possibilities are a lot. So so it's theater. Robin is based in theaters and one of the respected directors and choreographers from South Africa, based in Berlin, Germany, and also really loved by the Frenchie. So merci beaucoup, thank you, So that's how the theater and how uKHOIKHOI works within theater spaces.
Yeah.
And we had find opportunities to perform in some of the festivals as uKHOIKHOI. But what the challenge that we faced, because we didn't really do these 2 festivals, the challenges we faced is that for us to sustain ourselves when we are there.
Yes.
Because after Robin's tour, you have to go home, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to stay extra, you need to have money
to
sustain yourself.
Yeah.
Uzodependa kubani. So those are the challenges we had.
Yeah.
But now I think it's going to be different soon. Yeah.
Great. So culture yala South Africa mhlawumbe because you are a spiritual person.
Yes.
Ngiyazi ukuthi mawungena ku music noma uyifaka njoba nize name ngale igama enibiza ngalo uconnecta kanjani naye as a partner yakho on the band, or are you a person ofake culture okay, this is where I'm coming from, ngishaya ngesizulu ngishaya ngesixhosa, leyo connection ihamba kanjani?
So also I named the band uKHOIKHOI.
uKHOIKHOI, yes.
So Jogan had this idea. Let's I have a live
from
looking.
uKHOIKHOI.
So yeah, this is what it is. I was like,
Yeah.
Yazin, what do we share? Because he wanted to do something like, electronic analyze.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, let's find what's our common DNA.
Yes.
This is why I was saying, hey, my story. Yes, I'm
That's the connection I'm looking
Yes. So, utata wam ungumthembu. Ngokuba ukhuliswe ngabathembu namahlubi. Utata wakhe akangamaziyo. Ulikoyisana.
Yeah.
Sasibafitshane ekhaya singabathwa ukokoma edla ngokusigcona athi hambani apha nina bathwa when egcona mina and my brothers. And I was like, why is she calling us that? And then one day my mom was like, imani kancinci. Actually, your dad's dead ngumuntu othile esingamaziyo naningozithumane utata omkhulweni nikhuliswe ngutata uStirman. So utata omkhulu wethu simaziyo thina utata katata was my dad's stepfather. Who utata wafika emtshatweni nomakhulu wamkhulisa ezunyana wakhe wokuqala. And uStirman wayesaziwa ngalonto leyo kuba ukhulisa the community. So wathi xa yezeka utata ugogo wam wakhulisa notata wam. So that was the common denominator between mina no Jogan. I was like, let's use that. And then also let's push the agenda. I brought up that culture. Let's put up the agenda of appreciating indigenous tribes from South Africa and all over the world. Who are indigenous tribes? Sithetha ngamanguni, sithetha ngabantu abasasemasikweni wabo, not just indigenous ngobuhlala wedwa ehlathini. We still practice our indigenousness, you know, even though we are very westernized. But I was like, let's look at that. Let's not be an electronic band that sings in English. Abantu Europe appreciate you singing in your mother tongue. Different sound. Can't be going there now, like, oh, the roses. They are bored. They're like, oh my God. You know. And then after that, they'll have to learn. And the connection of music when Mhligo, it's so beautiful because bazova ingoma, fika nyani le ngoma ithetha ngothando. Ndicula ngesixhosa.
Yes.
Then kuzoba khona lonto yothi I felt that song. I saw it. I felt it. I know what he's singing, but it makes me feel warm.
And then now you start explaining.
Exactly. That's an opportunity for workshops. So I'm going to be invited. Yes. So now there's going to be conversations around it. You know. Now I want people to go research who is Nongawuse. Who is Abathembu in South Africa. When I say Yabo. But one thing also that we saw is like, oh man, let's also do this thing of putting subtitles in the music, in the videos. In the videos. And then when we perform them, we strike conversations. So I brought up that, I was like, let's do what we know in South Africa. Oh, Anna, but I don't know where I belong. That exactly. Because you're mixed Indian, colored, Khoi, that also on its own is going to bring us that we showcase the Rainbow Nation of our country. So we sell that too.
Discussion as well.
Thank you. Exactly. Who are we? How are we? How is the Khoisan and the Indian and then the Xhosa and then the Thembu? that's how I was like, yeah, let's brand ourselves
Yeah.
on who we are and where we're from and who made us and who our forefathers and where we're going, and lighten kakhulu, highlight kakhulu languages of South Africa. English yaziwa, Afrikaans yaziwa, ikhona Dutch, abasazi isiXhosa, abasazi isiZulu.
Yeah.
Mandihambe phana enze workshops ngibafundisa uqi. Give me my euros.
Nice, yes.
Like euro food.
Awu kamnandi.
Yeah.
Basikweleta labelungu.
Mabayizisa imali yethu, sayifuna imali yethu. Thini nale?
So utravelisha nje from the time niqala ke even namanje kukhona ama shows nisawenza, theater, music, the relationship is still happening.
Yeah, the relationship is happening.
Uyahamba nje uyaphesheya nje.
Yeah, ngiyahamba ngaphesheya. Right now we're going to Saudi Busari in Zanzibar.
Nice.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be the first festival that we do outside of home, South Africa.
Nihamba nini?
Siyamba nge-13 February.
Hayibo.
Yeah, so
Alright.
we're going to be there. 14th we're performing, and get 15th we perform.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, we are in a relationship, and I didn't know. I thought that with bands, we're just going to be a band, and yeah, we're gonna be nice, it's gonna be lovely, we're making music.
Yeah.
But then there's also a relationship, of friendship, of sisterhood, of business, of this. Kuzoxatshanwa, kuzoxhotshwana, kuzonqandawana, kuzophakanyelwana, nam ndiyayazi, nam andiyazi.
Yeah.
So we work together, and one thing that we found that we should do and we invested in is therapy.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, we ngale mali siyenzayo Europe, we buy instruments, we're investing in us.
Yeah.
We registered our company. We're the directors. We're trying to get a business way of doing it. And we're like, okay, so that singers ulahlana is and be like, I'm breaking up with you. Maybe there's also other emotions as Annalyza, not just Annalyzer, that I'm feeling. As Yoken that he's feeling. I feel like Annalyza can boni up. I feel like Yoken can boni up. So therapy helps us to build our relationship, to try and move forward every time. Communication. So that singers you know, most of the bands because otherwise there's actually other external factors that affect them. Personal factors. Sometimes you can umuntu uhlale naye nisebenze kunye.
Yeah.
Kanti umgxobile wamthunuka somewhere ngento personal. And then ubone emsebenzini ningasebenzisani kanti kudingeka la session oba nihlale phansi kuthe xalela Mhligo umthuki wena ndiqala kakubi wandiphatha kabuhlungu ngalabini uthatha ikomiti yabo ayibeka ngapha kodwa mina bengibekela, you know, those type of things like, oh wakhuluma ngekani yami uyabona. So those things, so the relationship is working because we want it to work and we're investing in it to work. It's not easy. Therapy is not accessible to anyone. Just it's a privilege to have therapy. So the advisor in Ndogo bands, when you get that little money, 10K nyana, to just sometimes just if money, there's therapists that are affordable online, black therapists also. Fungamfumana also so 500 rand athi can so that you go back home and you think about it. Do I really want to leave this band?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to leave this band. If I get 10K izolo, so ndizoqala enye band. Ndiyamthanda lo muntu also at the same time, yabo. So that's how we are still on. We're still working with the challenges that come with it. Yeah.
Akukho la ungafundi khona yabo.
Yes.
Balekile futhi ukuthi ufunde from one another, bekezelelana yabo.
Yes, kakhulu.
Lento senenzile amazing thina besibuka from far.
Yeah.
Yabo. So ibe ne impact ethize.
Thank you for that. Actually, I was going through something before I came here.
Yeah.
And now what you just said just confirmed something in me. So thank you.
Yeah. So ama instruments obuyiwadlale lapha kwi-band or kunamanye singawazi imapha ama instrument owasebenzisayo?
So when Jogan taught me the looping thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who taught me. Le nyawo nezandla uthi 1 2 vele ufake enye voice. Yeah, then it goes it builds.
Yeah.
So he taught me looping, and I was really fascinated. And he taught me one day, and the same day we were going to perform. And because I really wanted to know it, I really was eager to learn it and master it.
Yeah.
Now he introduced me to looping. Looping in it different things. It's electronic things.
Yeah.
So also there's an electronic pad that I use where I can play drums. But also there's a metronome that is playing in. That's why we have headsets.
Oh yeah.
We play with a metronome.
Yakata,
yes. So that's either get a 3 or a 4 or a 6. So you must know what you wins and don't. So I learned that also. With, okay, the metronome works like this. Because metronome diva once can record with the hip hop kids. You just get the 1, 2, 3, go, and then I say. So now it's consistent. So I learned the electronic pad where I play percussion, electronic percussion, and drums. And then sine percussion nakhona shakers, the gotendon and tambourine. Yes. So those little percussions, but to know how to play them on time, I play those instruments.
Nice.
And then I was like, okay, I would like to extend myself more than the bonuntombielanga.
Oh yes.
And then I was like, I would like to get an instrument and just try and like a very indigenous, bigger percussion instrument. Then I got uHati again. I just played. I loop it. Sometimes I play it. In the galleries.
Yeah.
Then kukhona ngoku Costina, the squash box that I'm recently learning. Because squash box, I got it in a friend's house.
Yes.
And I was like, I like this instrument. I was like, yeah, play around. Then I started figuring it out. And I was like, oh, okay. And now I have 2 songs that I play ngayo. But yonake, we invested in Saibega uKHOIKHOI. So it's an instrument that stays at the studio.
Yes.
So those are instruments that in the and keys. I play because my brother taught me a bit of keys.
Nice. Yeah.
I come from a religious family. So he plays the keys. So I've got some type of understanding of them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't read music, but now I'm trying to learn to read music.
Nice.
So
instrument.
Oh, because you have the because you have that being in stick
ezowazi ama-creatives nabantu ababukele
yiyo leyo ngqo bayintoni keke. And I don't know uHati was played by who, but yazi uMama Dosini, Princess Magogo, they did play uMakhoyane, uHati. So yes, it's the string. If it's thinner, it's even better.
Oh, it's better, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we've got Nancy Calabash.
Calabash.
But this is the way you make the then here you can tune it. Also, I discovered and I discovered with Jogan, because Jogan of course studied music. He can tune it with the piano also at the bum. So that is Wambelana with the so there's a lot of things that you can do with it. But I mean, it's got 2 ton. There's libales does a sloom. But make oidlala.
Yeah.
Uyabona nje manje ibambile. Izokwenza nye sound but manje ivula.
Oh. Yeah. Hey.
So xa isicula xa isebenzisa uyayiphendula nayo, you know. Thank you, ndiyabulela ndiqhwabele izandla. Thank you. Njani kanje yini?
Hey, nabantwana ekhaya. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, ngelinye ngifuna ungifundise ukudlala.
Every time sometimes I document myself when I'm playing it.
Yeah.
And uThobekile always be like, uyenze so ke ngokuthini, because I mean she is the master.
Yeah.
She's the master.
So ngiyakhumbula recently bekune theater event enike nayenza. I think it is last year. Tell us more about it before Sivale. And usazosiperformela today.
Oh, awesome.
Looking forward to that.
So Jomba Festival is a dance festival. Yalapha eThekwini here in KZN.
Oh yes.
And
when was it? Last year?
It was last year, yes.
Oh, okay.
Last year, bengathi sekuzophela unyaka October, if I'm not mistaken. So njengoba benchilo uRobin Olin lo sisebenza naye. uyi-choreographer, uyi-director, and works with dancers. So in the first project, we worked with Robin. We worked with dancers from Johannesburg, MID, moving into dance, which is an old dance company since 18 tonton libele. Robin wayesebenza wayedansa kuyo, yavulwa ichomi yakhe. Then badansa boy 2, then they started this company. It's the discipline is contemporary dance. So we did the show, we started the show here in Joburg, like classes zayo, siqala kanjani, what is the show about? The title of the show is We Wear Our Wheels with Pride. We slap your streets with color. We say bonjour Satan in the year 1820, which is sinxiba amavili ethu ngebhongo, siqhwaba izitalato zenu ngebala, sithi molo mtyholi ngonyaka ka-1820. It's a show that pays tribute to the rickshaws, or rickshaw who were the unspoken heroes. Or rickshaw were slaves before they became a rickshaw. Rickshaw was Marshall wafika introduce inansika or rickshaw. Kwimoto zingekafiki kudala, otata bethu bebaleka apha ukhokho bebaleka bethatha belungumsuse airport umseko up town ubaleka ugijima naye ubale, you know, it was that introduction. And apparently they died before the age of 30 because of heart conditions. Ubaleka and doing all that thing jalo. So Robin paid tribute because Uti, as a youngin, when she after sekufika imoto, then rickshaw started dressing up as amahlubi. They've got beautiful costumes as akudala, you know, abafaka impondo, and they used to entertain. Now it became a tourist attraction yalapha eThekwini. And Robin, Uti, she was at the age of 6, and I saw these angels flying, and I was like, oh, they're beautiful. So since I learned piece We Wear Our Wheels, she was paying tribute to the rickshaws. We are telling the rickshaw stories on who they are and how colonization and slavery was also introduced in South Africa, in KZN. How did the rickshaws come? How did the rickshaws became of? So, France, yes. They won't get that story. Robin wanted to take the show and bring it to South Africa.
South Africa, so they can relate.
Yes, abantu bazi ukuthi sithetha ngantoni also xa sipha singaqamba amani sibhaqe futhi we mina. So uJomba invited the show. It's a French show. It's our concept, but it's a French show. Uyayiva loo nto le? Into ezenziwa ngaba. Hayi ke izizwe i-French show, izizwe eSouth Africa. And then it was in the Jomba Festival. It was one, and they were honoring Robin for being in the arts for certain years. And she's a knight actually. She's Commander Robin Olin. She got knighted in France.
So ending sesivalelisa ngifuna ukuthi ubatshele ukuthi hey usushayela umhlaba imapha amazwe usuhambe.
Oh yes, amaninzi. I've been amazwe cities. Amazwe, it's Germany. It's France. It's Switzerland. It's Belgium. The Netherlands and Taiwan, which is Asia. Yes, in Asia. Yes, Taiwan. And which else? I forgot. But those 6 ones are the ones that I still remember.
Your passport ingcolile ne?
Ingcolile actually funeka ndenze i-passport.
Futhi njengoba abantu uthola ukuthi lapho usuyeka u4.
Exactly, la usuyeka nje. Sendifika khona ngithi oh my god, silapha and I'm bored. Oh, privileges. Yes.
So any closing words amazwe okuvala noma ukhuluma nabantu ababukele njengamanje?
First of all, zithande into yenzayo, uhloniphe umsebenzi wakho, and buza, go and ask for help, and if awufumani uyawa phinda uvuke uzithintithe, awufanga ngoba uyaphila, and xa ususwelekile uzobe usuphumlile. So always ask, don't be afraid. Fumana uncedo kwenye indawo kuzoba grant. Siyabonga.
Awuskiphe ngebeatbox ngibatshela.
Woo.
Sesiphuma kwi-Creative Unplugged podcast. Sikutsheleke lapho bengishayela nge-chorus. Bye bye. Ungakhohlwa ukungena uyosubscriber mawukuthi mhlambe nawe ubona amaqhwapha hayibo. Sithi kuwena no Nix noma apha masivala sivalelisa sithi bye bye. Subscribe and like Creative Unplugged Mhligo no Annalyzer.
That was cool.
Molo zinhle, molo sihle, molo sibahle, umhlehle. Molo zinhle, molo sihle, molo sibahle, umhlehle, 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 Fulindlela mamkhosi